Hello viewers, good afternoon. My name is Joseph Laughter once again and welcome to my YouTube channel. I do hope that you like this video. I do hope you share this video. I do hope you comment and I do hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. In today's lesson, we are considering the topic plural markers. Now, this has to do with nouns, obviously. So when we talk about plural markers, we're referring to nouns because it's only nouns that would take S or ES to show plural forms, yeah? And one thing I also need you to note is that when we say plural markers and when we talk about nouns taking S or ES forms, we are referring to regular nouns, not irregular nouns, because there are some nouns that we call irregular nouns, and those ones, the plural forms of them cannot be predicted. Yeah, you cannot predict them. However, for regular nouns, like every single noun that will take S or ES to show the plural form, that's what this rule is for. Do you understand? I believe you do. So let's go into the topic. Do not forget to actually like this video and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel once again. So now, there are 4 rules that guide how you should pronounce the letter S or the ES that you add to the end of a noun to show that it is in its plural form. Yeah. So the first rule says to be pronounced as Z. Now, if the base form of a noun ends with a voiced consonant sound, I'll tell you what voiced consonant sounds are, but if the base form of a noun, now what do we mean by base form of a noun or any word at all? That means that's the original word without any inflection, the original word before you add maybe S, maybe any other thing that you add to it to form a new word or to show plural, to show past tense or whatever, yeah? So the base form of a word, like the word girl in its base form, that is girl, yeah? Like the word broom, that's what we call base form. So the word in its original form, yeah? If the base form of a word or of a noun ends with a voiced consonant sound, now what are voiced consonant sounds? If you check my video where I talked about past tense markers, you would see I've talked about voiced consonant sound. However, I would still mention that. Now, voiced consonant sounds are those sounds that when you pronounce them, you actually feel a bit of a vibration in your windpipe, yeah, in your throat. Now, sounds like yeah, sounds like sounds like g, yeah, etc. Sounds like b. Yeah, those are voiced consonant sounds. So b, d, g, v, etc. Yeah, all of these are voiced consonant sounds. Yeah, you should check. I would do a video that talks about like sounds generally, and then I would talk more about voiceless and voiced consonant sounds. Yeah. So now, so if the base form of a noun ends with a voiced consonant sound, that means the last sound in the noun. The plural marker should be pronounced as Z. Yeah. So now this word girl, yeah, ends with the L sound, yeah, the letter L sound, the sound that's realized by the letter L. It is a voiced consonant sound. So when you add the S to it, what you should pronounce should be girls, not girls. Yeah, it's those little things that usually would affect the way you speak and the way you pronounce your words. Yeah, so girl, when you add S to it, it becomes girls. Broom, when you add S to it, becomes brooms. Bag, when you add S to it, becomes bags. Table, when you add S to it, it becomes tables. Now, take note of the word table, even though the word normally without the S ends with the letter E. However, the letter E there is silent. It's not pronounced, yeah? So the last sound of the word table is also the L sound, yeah? So when you add the S to it, it becomes tables, yeah? So when we're talking about this topic, we are referring to the phonics aspect of the topic, not the alphabet aspect of it. We're not talking about past tense. Sorry, we're not talking about plurals of nouns and you added now. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm just referring to how you should pronounce these letters, the S or the ES, when they come at the end of a noun to show plurals. Yeah. So that's the number one rule. To be pronounced as Z, if the base form of a noun ends with a voiced consonant sound, the plural marker should be pronounced as Z. So we've got girls, we've got brooms, we've got bags, we've got tables. Put more nouns that should follow these rules in the comment section. And let's go to rule number 2. Rule number 2, to also be pronounced as Z. If the base form of a noun ends with a vowel sound, if the base form of a noun ends with a vowel sound, the plural marker should also be pronounced as Z. Now, rule number 1 says if it ends with a voiced consonant sound, yeah? Rule number 2, however, says that if the base form of a noun ends with a vowel sound, like so the word boy, for instance, boy, the last sound there is the diphthong oi, yeah? Like car, for instance, the last sound there is the R, yeah? Like way, for instance, the last sound there is the diphthong A, yeah? So if a word, a noun, ends with any vowel sound, and of course there are 20 or debatably 25 vowel sounds in English, but let's just say 20 vowel sounds, like you've got 12 monophthongs and then you've got 8 diphthongs. Some people believe we have triphthongs, while some people do not actually believe that, but that's not the focus of this lesson today. Yeah, so the plural marker should be pronounced as Z. So that's why you've seen the word boy, when you add S to it, becomes boys. Way becomes ways. New becomes news, like the word news. Gears, yeah, the gear, your car gear. Cars, yeah. So go over that again. If the base form of a noun ends with a vowel sound, the plural marker should be pronounced as Z. So you've got boys, you've got ways, you've got news, you've got gears, and then you've got cars. So let's go to rule number 3. And please do not forget to like and share. Yeah, thank you. Rule number 3 says that to be pronounced as S, yeah, if the base form of a noun ends with a voiceless consonant sound, the plural marker should be pronounced as S. I'll go over that again. If the base form of a noun ends with a voiceless consonant sound, the plural marker should be pronounced as S. So that's why you've got cat pronounced as cats, cup as cups, book as books, pot as pots. Yeah, that one is quite simple. So all of your voiceless consonant sounds like t, like p, like k. Whenever a word ends with a voiceless consonant sound and you pluralize the word using S or ES, make sure that you pronounce that S or ES as S. Yeah? Let's go to rule number 4. The final rule, which is rule number 4, states that to be pronounced as is, yeah? So that means you're adding an extra syllable to the initial syllable you've got. Yeah, to be pronounced as is. If the base form of a noun ends with any of these 6 consonant sounds. I'll go over that again. If the base form of a noun ends with any of these 6 consonant sounds. So what are the 6 sounds? The sound S, mostly realized by letter S or letter C. The sound Z, mostly realized by letter Z or sometimes letter S. The sounds sh, mostly realized by SH. Yeah? The sound J, realized by letter G especially when it comes at the end of a word, like the GE, like garage. Yeah, the sound mostly realized by CH. Yeah, and then the sound G, mostly realized by letters J or GE also when it comes at the end of a word. Yeah. So now, so if the base form of a noun ends with any of these 6 sounds, s, z, sh, j, ch, and g, the plural markers should be pronounced as z. So what that means is class should be pronounced as classes. Maze should be pronounced as mazes. Bush is pronounced as bushes. Church is pronounced as churches. Box is pronounced as boxes. Now, take note of the word box. The letter X there gives us the k sounds. Like the letter X alone realizes 2 different sounds, k and s together. And then that means the last sound there is s, which is one of the sounds we've mentioned here. Yeah, so boxes. And the word judge pronounced as judges. Yeah, we got over that again. Classes, mazes, bushes, churches, boxes, and judges. And with this, we've come to the end of what we call plural markers. I do hope you've enjoyed this video from beginning to the end, and please do like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a great day. Bye.